Hey friends, today we are working on DGP Lesson 3. So get your paper ready, write your sentence down 5 times or type it out and join me, okay? Congratulations to the last Lesson 2 winners. It was a two-way tie. Can you believe that? They sent their entries at the exact same time. They sent their 5 sentences and the secret word sentence together, and it was Ailey and Sophia, so congratulations. I hope you got your prize in the mail. So here we go today. I want to show you the secret word. So be listening out for that. Remember, if you want to submit to earn a prize in the mail, you have to have your 5 sentences completed with me, as well as the sentence that I say that secret word in. So one more time, the secret word is, all right, so today we have Lesson 3. If you notice on your plans, it was come to the park and we can play on the slide. All right, so on day 1 of DGP, we always look for parts of speech. So let's see if we can find the nouns. I always think to myself, nouns are a person, place, or thing. So which words in here are a person, place, or thing? I spy with my tiny eyes 2 nouns. Can you find them? Come to the park. Park is a person, place, or thing? Right, it is. It's a place. It's not a proper noun, so we have a lowercase n. And we can play on the slide. What can we play on? The slide. That's our noun. Another common noun, so lowercase n. Okay? Do we have any words that describe park or slide? Remember, words that describe a noun are adjectives. Okay, come to the park. Which park? What kind of park? Or how many parks? Well, we only have one word that describes which park, and it is the word the. Shoop. So draw your arrow under the to park, and we'll write ADJ, adjective. Okay, adjective. And we have slide here. What words describe slide? Which one, what kind, or how many? Those are questions that adjectives answer. And again, it's telling me which slide, the slide. Shoop. Make that silly sound, it's more fun. So we have 2 adjectives here that describe those, okay? All right, so now, do we have any verbs? Do you see any verbs? Well, I can come and I can play. Okay, so let's see, come to the park. That is a verb. What type of verb is it? It's something I can do, so it's an action verb. And what tense is it? Past, present, or future? Yes, it's actually present. Come. And play. Play is a verb, and we know we can play, so it's an action verb. We have a situation here. We have a half of a verb, and if you're in my homeroom, you know a half of a verb means that there's another word helping the main verb. Did you hear me say it? It's helping the main verb. What word do you see that's helping that main verb play? Well, we knew words that help are our helping verb, and we have a helping verb linking verb wrap. So let's say it. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could, can. It is a helping verb. So make that HV. We can play past, present, or future. Say it loud and proud. Past, present, or future. It's again present. Good job. So with Monday's sentences, we have to have a label for every single word. So we have this word, and these 2. Okay, which one do you want to do next? Let's do this word, and. Come to the park, and we can play. It's telling me 2 things. It's joining 2 things together. Sometimes you might see the word and joining a list of things. You go to the store and you get cookies, bread, and milk. This is a joining word, like the mortar in between bricks, cement that holds it together, the glue that holds it together. So this is a conjunction. So we label it CC, coordinating conjunction. Okay. 2. What is 2? 2 is going towards something, kind of the position of something. The preposition, yes, this is a preposition. Preposition. Now remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video. What is on? Again, we have another position. We're on the slide, on. So that is a preposition. So we label it P-R-E-P. So this guy right here is our last word that we needed to put a label over. We. We. Who are we talking about here? Maybe you and me. Maybe I'm saying this to you. Come to the park so we can play. I didn't use my name. I'm replacing my name, Miss Konas, and your name with the word we. So when I replace the name of a noun, we call it a pronoun. Pronoun. Now remember, we have to figure out what type of pronoun it is, and this gets a little tricky. Okay, but if you look at your sentence type, we have a simple or compound sentence here. Well, we always go to the conjunction first, even though having a conjunction doesn't always tell us that it's a compound sentence. But here we have one thought, come to the park, and then another thought, we can play on the slide. So we have two sentences in one to make a compound sentence. So it actually is starting a new sentence, okay? We can play on the slide. So we have three different types of pronouns. A nominative, which comes before the verb at the beginning of the sentence, basically in the subject. Objective, which comes after the verb, usually at the end of the sentence. Or possessive, showing ownership. Which one is it not? It is not showing ownership, so we can X that one out. And if it's at the beginning of the sentence here, we know that it's in the subject area, so we can knock that objective out. So we're going to call it a nominative. Put N-O-M over it. Very good. Very good. Day one is complete. Okay, we're ready for day two for DGP. All right, on day two, we always figure out our sentence parts: subject, predicate, complete subject, complete predicate, prepositional phrases, complements if there are any. So let's go ahead and look at our first part of the sentence. Let's simply take our first thought, come to the park. Let's ignore everything else right now, okay? Come to the park. Let's find our subject. Who are we talking about? Come to the park. What's wrong? Who are we talking about? It doesn't tell us, does it? So if I were talking with you and I said, hey, come to the park, I'm talking to you. Or if you said it to me, you would point to me and you say, you come to the park. But the word you, if I say you come to the park, we don't have to put it if it's just me and you talking. I'm saying you come to the park. But if I say come to the park, you know I'm talking to you. So it's what we call an understood you because of this type of the sentence purpose. Does anybody know what's the sentence purpose here when we don't have the word written, but it's just understood? It's just understood. In fact, come to the park sounds like a command. I'm telling you to do something. Come to the park. Is it declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory? If you said imperative, kiss your brain. Good job. All right, so this you, even though it's not written, is the subject. I'm talking to you. I want you to do this. So we're going to put an S over the word you that we wrote in. Okay? All right, what is the verb? Now, this isn't rocket science. Go back to day one. What did you label as your verb on that first part of the sentence? If you said come, then you are correct. It is the verb. That's our simple predicate. So put a V. Now we can easily divide our sentence between our subject and our predicate. Where do we divide that kung fu chop line, the dividing line? It's going to look a little funny here, but we're going to put it right here. It comes right here. Okay? Now we can underline our complete subject once, our complete predicate twice. What is our complete subject? Remember, I always think, to find my complete subject, I include all the words in the subject area. And in this case, it's only one word. It's only the word you. Okay? But what is my complete predicate in this first thought? When I say come to the park, you should include the verb all the way to the end of that thought. What is that? Say it loud. If you said, come to the park, you are correct. Remember, we're only working with the first part of the sentence. Come to the park. That's our first thought. Okay, now, in that first thought, come to the park, what is our prepositional phrase? Because look back on day one, we had a preposition. And if you have a preposition, you have a prepositional phrase, right? Right, our preposition was to. So we have to put parentheses, not quotation marks, but parentheses around our prepositional phrase. So we always start in front of the preposition and end with the first noun we come to. Where do I want you to come? To the park. That's right. Last thing we need to do is our object of the preposition. So shout out in your house what the object of the preposition is. That's okay. Say it so loud that your neighbors can hear. If you said park, you're right. Because that's our object, our noun. Park. O-P. To the what? To the park. We want you to come to the park. Okay, so now we're ready for our second thought. We can play on the slide. We don't need to worry about this guy. He is just the glue. The word and is simply the glue. He doesn't belong in either sentence, poor guy. He's just there to hold everybody's hands, okay? We can play on the slide. All right, what's our subject? Who or what are we talking about? We, yes. And what can we do? We can play. So let's put a V over both of those because they belong together. It's like Batman and Robin. They belong together, okay? Now we can draw our Kung Fu chop line. Let me hear you say, hi-ya, in the right place. Go ahead and draw it. And I'm going to draw it right here, hi-ya, between our subject and predicate. When we draw that Kung Fu chop line, it's easy now to identify the complete subject and our complete predicate. The complete subject is all the words that come are in the subject area. And in this case, it's only the word we. So underline the word we once. And the complete predicate includes that verb all the way to the end of the sentence. So we got to include the word can play and then go all the way to the end of the sentence. Now, all you need to make this sentence work is a subject and predicate. We can play. We don't necessarily need that prepositional phrase. We can play. That's your sentence. But it's not a very good sentence for a fifth grader. So we want to make sure we tell what we're going to play, where we're going to play, when we're going to play, all of those other details that modify your subject and predicate. Okay, so we have a preposition. Right on. All right, so we're going to put parentheses in front of the word on. And where do we draw that closing parentheses? After, right. So here we have on the slide. What is our object? What's our noun? Slide. On the what? On the slide. That's our object. Very good. So now we are done with day 2. Did we have any compliments? Well, let's be sure. Remember how I told you that prepositional phrases just add extra information. So we could actually take them out. Okay? So if we wanted to pretend that these were not even here, our sentence could say, come and we can play. There are no other words in our sentence, and our complement cannot be in the prepositional phrase ever, ever. Okay? So we don't have a complement. We don't have a word that we say subject, predicate. What? We can play what? Well, it tells us where we can play, but it doesn't tell us we can play tag on the slide, or we can play chase on the slide. We don't have that. So we don't have a complement. All right, we're ready to go on to day 3, guys. Okay, we are ready for our day 3 for DGP. Now, I appreciate you guys doing this with me. If you've done lesson 1, lesson 2, and now this is your 3rd lesson that you have done with me, I think you rock. I love you guys. So let's do day 3. Here we go. Had to adjust my board a little bit. All right, come to the park and we can play on the slide. Day 3, we're figuring out the sentence type and sentence purpose. Now, I've already given you these clues. I've already told you what they are. We always think for simple or compound, simple meaning one thought, but we know that this one has 2. We already talked about that, so we have to check the pattern. So you always go back to day 2 to see what the pattern is. The basic pattern for a compound sentence is subject predicate, that's a sentence, which is one thought, and a subject predicate. Subject predicate, conjunction, subject predicate. Did we have that here? Sure. We wrote the word you, subject, predicate, conjunction, subject, predicate. So it is a compound sentence. We had a compound sentence our last time as well. Now, what's the sentence purpose? Declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory. Come to the park, and we can play on the slide. I'm telling you to do something, so it is important that you do it. It's imperative. It's a command. So we put IMP. Okay? Now, when we are looking for our corrections for capitalization, punctuation, I see 1, 2, 3. I only see 3 things that we need to do. 2 of them are super easy, okay? 2 of them are super easy. We always, what? Always capitalize the beginning of the sentence. Now, if you knew that, give yourself a pat on the back, because that's super important, and you don't understand how many people still, even as adults, forget to capitalize the beginning of their sentences. So get that in that brain now. So let's put our 3 lines under the C as our editing marks. Capitalize the beginning of the sentence. The other one is super easy too. We go to the end of the sentence. We always punctuate the end of the sentence. Now, depending on what the sentence was labeled here, if we labeled it an interrogative, we'd have to have a question mark. Exclamatory, we'd have to have an exclamation mark. But we might put it as imperative, so all we're going to do is insert a period. So you go ahead and do that now. But guys, there's a third thing. If you watch lesson 2, we had another compound sentence. We have our sentence, our 2 sentences connected with a conjunction. Well, there is another punctuation that helps hold these 2 sentences together. It is a comma. So we're going to put a comma before the and, which is after that first thought. And a lot of times, like I said last time, we take a breath there. Come to the park, and we can play on the slide. So we always have a subject, predicate, comma, conjunction, subject, predicate. A lot of people get confused of where to put the comma, but it comes after that first thought. Okay, we're ready for day 5, our diagram. I'm going to have you draw it with me, okay? So with this type of sentence, we've got a basic subject, predicate, and that first thought. So we're going to work with the first thought, come to the park. So let's draw our baseline. We always start with a baseline. Sometimes it may look different depending on how many subjects or predicates you have, but we're going to start with our baseline. And then we have our kung fu chop line. Now, your kung fu chop line may have looked a little bit different because of the sentence purpose. It's imperative. It's a command. So what goes on the left side of your kung fu chop line? If you said, come, think again. It's not come. Come is the verb. The verb always comes on the right side. What was the word that's understood? You should have said the word you. So even though it's not there, we're still going to write it. You. And what do we want you to do? We want you to come. Right. We mark it off when we're done. You come. Now, what are the words that describe or modify where we want you to come? That prepositional phrase, to the park. So draw a diagonal line under the word come, flat line. So what's going to go on the diagonal line? Your preposition, to. To what? Right, park. So we're going to put that on the flat line. Crossing them off. What word describes or modifies park? The adjective, yes. So we always have modifiers on a diagonal line. The park. So make yours match mine. And mark it off once we've used it. Now we're going to go to the second thought. We can play on the slide. Let's draw our, if you can see it, make sure you can see it. Let's draw our second baseline. Okay, draw your second baseline and our second confluent chop line. What goes on the left side? Our subject. And our subject in this second thought is we. So write the word we and cross it off. What do we want to do? Well, we can play. On the right side, we put the helping verb. Remember, he's part of the verb. He's helping him. Can play. We're marking them off because we don't use them again. Okay, so all we have left is this prepositional phrase, and it's going to look very similar to this right here. We draw a diagonal line and a flat line because we always have, if we have a preposition, we have an object. Diagonal line, flat line. So what's the preposition? On what? We ask. Slide. On slide. Marking them off. We have one guy left, one word left, and it's describing which slide, so it's modifying, and we're going to put it right below the slide. Very good. Let's mark it off. Oh no, we have this guy. I thought we were done, but we're so not. We've got to connect him. He's the glue. So just like last week, let's draw a stair step down. Dot, 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 line, dot, 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 dot. And it's okay if it goes over a word. He is our stair step. He is our connecting word. Ta-da! You did it. You did it. Day 3 complete. I love you guys. I will see you soon, hopefully. Send me your sentences all complete with your secret word. I love you. Bye.